So 11.3 is going to be the surface area and volume of pyramids. So here's some examples of what some of the pyramids we're going to look at are going to look like. Okay, so a regular pyramid is a polyhedron in which one face, the base, boop, is a regular polygon, and the other faces, the lateral faces, so all of the side ones, are triangles with a common vertex called the vertex of the pyramid. Okay, so remember, regular means all sides and all angles should be congruent. So that base is going to have all sides and all angles congruent. The height, the altitude of pyramid is the perpendicular segment from the vertex to the center of the base. Okay, we talked about altitude way back at the beginning of the semester. Okay, it's always going to be that one that creates a perpendicular line from the vertex to the center of the base. The length of the altitude is the height of the pyramid. Okay. The slant height, so it's going to be written as a slant, is the length of the altitude of a lateral face. Remember, lateral face is the side faces, so we have 4 different side faces in this figure. Okay, so the slant height is going to be that, and it's going to be labeled with that little curvy L. Okay, so it's not going to look like that. It's more so going to be like this. Okay, so in this situation, this would be my slant height. Okay, formulas for pyramids. So to find the lateral area, we're going to do 1/2 times the perimeter times that lateral height. To find the surface area, you're going to take whatever that lateral area is, and you're going to add whatever the base is to it. So the area of the base. Okay, the volume, so if we filled that figure up with a bunch of water, to figure out what the volume would be, we'd take 1/3 times the base times the height. So lateral area of a pyramid. So lateral area equals the sum of the lateral faces. So first off, we need to find the area of one of the lateral faces. Okay, so we would find the area of one, and then we'd multiply it by 4. To find the area of a triangle, you take 1/2 times the base times the height. In this situation, the base is S, and the height is L. So that's how we get our 1/2 times S times L. And then to find the lateral area, remember, you're trying to find the area of all 4 sides added together, or you could just multiply it by 4. That's why we come up with the lateral area equation being 1/2 times P times L, or the perimeter times the lateral. Okay, so find the lateral area and surface area of this. So we said the lateral area was 1/2 times P times L. Okay, so L in this situation is that slanted height, so this is going to be L, so 11. 1/2 times P times 11. And then we need the perimeter of the base. So 12, but there are 4 different sides. So we need to take 12 times 4 to find the perimeter to get 48. So we got 1/2 times 48 times 11. So my lateral area is 264 inches squared. We're still talking about area, so make sure you label it inches squared. Okay, so on top of that, I need to now find the surface area. So I'm going to write the lateral area that we found at the top, so 264. Oops. Because, 264 inches squared. The surface area, all you do is take your lateral area and add the area of your base. So this base, it looks like it's a square. Okay, so all I have to do for that is take 12 times this other side, 12, which is going to be 144, because the area of a square is base times height. So 12 times 12 is 144. So that means my surface area is going to be 408 inches squared. Okay, here's our next one. So my lateral area equals 1/2 times my perimeter times my lateral. So we got 1/2 times, well, my lateral this time is 10. So times by 10. My perimeter, it looks like we have another square. So 6 times 4 will get me my perimeter because there's 4 sides. So 6 times 4 is 24. So the lateral area is 120 meters squared. My surface area, I take whatever that lateral area is, so 120, plus the area of the base, which again is another square. So I do 6 times 6 to get 36. So my surface area is 156 meters squared. Alright, so lateral area equals 1/2 times perimeter times or slant. So 1/2 times my perimeter. This time I got my side being 5, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So we got a hexagon. So 5 times 6 should get me 30 for my perimeter, times my lateral, which is going to be 6.9. So my lateral area is going to be 103.5. But now I need to figure out, for surface area, I got my lateral area plus the area of the base. But this time, it's a hexagon. So if I redraw it out here, got my side being 5. So if it's a regular, we need to find the area of it. So that means I need to find my big angle, then my small angle, so I can find my apothem. My perimeter right now, we already said, was 30. And it's also times 1/2, and then we have to find the apothem now. So I'm going to take 360 divided by the number of sides. So my big angle is 60. So that means my little angle is 30. So if I drew all of my big angles in here, that little angle is 30, and then we have the right angle, so we have a 30, 60, 90. That big length is 5, that means the little one is 2.5. X sits across from 2.5 in the 30, 60, 90, but I need this. So x squared of 3 sits across from 60. So if x represents 2.5, this over here is 2.5 square root of 3. So times 2.5 square root of 3. So area equals 64.95. Now you need to add that, so, oops, 64.95. So that means my surface area is 168.45 meters squared. So remember, if we have a hexagon, we're probably going to have to do a 30, 60, 90 in that. Okay, so we have this being 1/2 times perimeter times my lateral. So let's find the perimeter. So we got 5. This time we got 4 sides, so 5 times 4, so we got 20. Times my lateral. Ooh, my lateral should be that slant, and I don't have the slant. So I know if I cut this in that 5 in half, this is going to be 2.5. So this is 10, this is 2.5. So we need to use Pythagorean theorem to find my slant. And my slant's going to be C. So I got 100 plus 6.25 equals C squared. So 100 and 6.25 equals C squared. We got to square root both sides. So C equals 10.31. Okay, so that is going to be my lateral. So I'm going to erase all that work down there so I have more space. So then when I multiply it all together, I got 0.5 times 20 times 10.31. So 103.1 meters squared. So now my surface area, I add that, so 103.1 plus the area of the base. So 5 times 5, because we do base times height, so 5 times 5 is going to be 25. So my surface area is then going to be 128.1 meters squared. Okay, so this one we're going to have to do kind of the same thing. So we got 1/2 times my perimeter times my lateral. So my perimeter, I got 3 sides and one side's 12, so 3 times 12 is going to get me 36. And then if I draw my triangle, this is 15. I need half of 12 to get that bottom portion, so 6. So 15 squared plus 6 squared equals C squared. So 261 equals C squared. Square root both sides. So C equals 16.1 6. So 16.16. So my lateral area is going to be 290.88 centimeters squared. Now let's find the surface area. So I'm going to take my lateral area, so 290.88, and add the area of my base, which is a triangle this time. So the area of a triangle is 1/2 times the base times the height. So we're just going to stick with lateral areas for that one. This one I actually wanted to show you an example of volume. So the volume, if I filled that all up with water, is going to be the 1/3 times base times height. Okay, so this time, so my height is going to be 15 because I'm not asking for lateral. So 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. Okay, so this is a equilateral triangle. So if I have an equilateral triangle, that means all of my angles are 60 degrees. So if I cut this, if I cut one of those 60-degree angles, this is going to be 30, this is going to be 50, this is going to be 60. Okay, the outside is then 12, so half of that to get my little triangle is going to be 6. Okay, so I have my 30, 60, 90 with this being 6. This is 30, sorry you can't read that, that's 60, so x always sits across from 30, x square root of 3 always sits across from 60, so that means this is 6 square root of 3. So trying to find the area of that, I'm going to do a equals 1/2 times my base, which is 6, times my height I found, 6 square root of 3. So 0.5 times 6 square root of 3. So the area of that base is 31.18 times the height of the entire thing is 15. So 1/3 times 31.18 times 31.18 times 15. So my volume would be 155.9 centimeters there. We'll go more in detail with that next time. We're going to do this one as our last one. So I need to find the surface area of the entire figure. So I'm going to find the surface area of the top and the surface area of the bottom. So first we need to find the lateral area to then get the surface area. So I have 1/2 times the perimeter times the slant. So 1/2 times the perimeter is going to be that bottom of the square. So 10 times 4 to get 40 times my slant. Well, right now it looks like my height is 13. If that entire length is 10, I need part of it, so 5. So I need to do 13 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. So 194 equals c squared. Square root both sides. So c equals 13.93. So 13.93. So 0.5 times 40 times 13.93. So the lateral area of the top is 278.6. And then we need to add that to the area. Let's find the surface area, sorry. So we're going to add that to the area of the bottom. Okay, so the bottom, the area of the bottom, it looks like it's a square, so all we have to do is 10 times 10, which is 100. So surface area equals 278.6 plus 100, so 378.6 meters squared. Now we have to do the rectangle. So the lateral area is going to be, we have to do the area then times 4. So it's going to be 10 times 10, and then there are 4 sides, so we're just going to multiply it by 4. So we got 10 times 10 times 4. which is 400. But to get the surface area, we need to do that 400 plus the area of the top and bottom. But we already covered the area of the top when we found it with the triangle, and I don't need to find it multiple times. So I'm not going to multiply this by 2. I'm just going to keep whatever I find the area of the bottom to be. So the area of the bottom is going to be 10 times 10, which is 100. So that surface area will get me 500 meters squared, and then I can add them together. Okay, the reason I don't multiply it by 2 to include the top and the bottom is because when I did the top portion, I already covered this part when I did it right here. And since we've already covered it, I don't need to do it twice. So to find the total surface area, we are going to add them together. So 378.6 plus 500. So my total surface area is going to be 878.6 meters squared.